Hello everyone and welcome back to Destiny. The E3 floodgates have opened, awesome new games are being announced left and right, Anthem looks incredible, and also earlier we got the first bit of Destiny 2 information for the week, and it comes in the form of an article from, no surprises here, Game Informer. The article dives much deeper into the Arcstrider subclass, how it plays, all of its perks, and how devastating it actually is. So let's dive in. Jumping right in, Matt Miller, the writer of the Game Informer article, describes the Arcstrider as a monk-like subclass, which sounds just about right given the brief footage we've seen of that super in action. And since it is given to us in text form, here is my handy-dandy Photoshop of the Arcstrider subclass. The subclass is designed for close-quarter melee combat, with high-risk, high-reward scenarios for you to take advantage of and master with precise and intelligent play. So let's start with the star of the show, the super, and it's called Arcstaff. This is of course where the Arcstrider will summon a mystical staff and bash enemies around while performing acrobatics. Arcstaff is described as feeling and looking much better than Arcblade, and it even controls more intuitively and much easier to move between targets, both in front of you and behind. So Arcstaff sounds as awesome as it looks, which is very exciting. I'm starting to seriously consider maining a hunter this time around. Ever since Night Stalker came out, my huntress has gotten much more attention from my Titan, but I do love my Titan and the new Fists of Havoc looks incredible. I just can't decide, you guys. Anyways, the grenades are the same as they are on Blade Dancer, with the return of Flux, Arcbolt, and of course skip grenades. The jumps are the same with the exception of Blink, which has been removed in favor of Triple Jump, which I find very interesting. Rest in peace Blink, we hardly knew ye. The dodge abilities are the same as they are on the Gunslinger, which if you had any remaining doubts, this further solidifies the fact that class abilities are the same between all subclasses, which only makes sense since they're called class abilities. I never really understood the confusion there. But moving on to the subclass focuses, it has been confirmed that you're not going to be able to mix and match perks. Mark Noseworthy shared a story with IGN during the reveal which I think hinted at this, but didn't give us any solid confirmation back then. They did confirm that the groupings are Bungie's way of presenting you with strong builds, like I speculated in the subclass video from earlier this week, but it also allows the sandbox team to not only balance those talents better, but allow for them to become much more potent since they know what talents they're grouped up with. Mark shares a story about how he and Luke will often be playing Destiny, and Luke inspects Mark's character only to discover the mess of the build he has. He goes on to talk about how the focuses are simply Bungie's way of grouping up perfect builds for you. He describes each of the two groups as an optimal build, so if you pick all the perks from that grouping, you are guaranteed a strong build with modifiers that go really well together. But going back to the Arcstrider, luckily, thanks to the Game Informer article, we know all of the perks from the two groupings. We start with Way of the Warrior. The first ability is Combat Flow, which recharges your dodge class upon a melee kill. You use that in conjunction with Gambler's Dodge, and you can remain in close quarter combat and just go back and forth doing dodges and melee attacks repeatedly. Next we have Deadly Reach, which extends the range of your melee lunge temporarily after a dodge. Then there is Lethal Current, which is the super modifier which makes your Arcstaff attack hit twice after dodging. And finally we have the melee modifier Shocking Blow, which makes your fist emit lightning on a strike. The really cool thing here is that 3 of the 4 modifiers all interact with your dodge ability. This is what I was referring to as becoming more combat effective and more powerful. You're gonna jump in, punch someone in the face, dodge behind them, punch them again, pop your super, and your enemies are not gonna know what the hell is going on. And as if that wasn't cool enough, let's take a look at the second focus, which is Way of the Wind. This grouping of perks seem to all be focused around speed and high risk, high reward. First we have Disorienting Blow, the melee modifier, which not only disorients those you hit with your melee, but also becomes instantly recharged if you happen to kill them. Next is Lightning Reflexes, which lets you take less damage while dodging when Arcstaff is active. I didn't even think about dodging while Arcstaff is active, that just sounds super fun. Next we have Battle Meditation, which is definitely very interesting because it says while you're critically wounded, your melee and grenades recharge drastically faster. So, incentivizing you to be low in health, very interesting. And then finally we have the Frosties Incarnate with focused breathing, and that's described as sprinting reduces your dodge cooldown and you gain increased sprint speed. Again, reinforcing speed and also incentivizing high risk, high reward scenarios. The cool thing about these subclasses that I'm starting to pick up on is that they will reinforce genuine different approaches and different playstyles. I guarantee you're going to be playing the game much differently between Arcstrider and Gunslinger. And again, going back to my previous video with less perks, you are more aware of those perks, they're more potent, and they work a lot better together, which means that you're going to strive to master that subclass. And another really cool thing that might come out of Destiny 2 this fall is, especially with the introduction of the energy weapons kind of taking over the burn effects when needed, you might actually start seeing subclass mains. Kind of a neat prospect. Anyways, I'm sure we'll get much more about the Arcstrider as the week goes on and more people get their hands on it. I expect to get even more Destiny 2 news during the Sony press conference tonight. I hope we'll see a new trailer ending with the date of the beta, which I believe is Bungie's big announcement for the show. I really hope to get a story trailer this time around. The gameplay reveal was for us, the fans. The story trailer is for everyone else. And with all eyes on the game, it's time for Bungie to show that they're coming in strong in the story department this time around. So I'll be very interested to see what they do. And speaking of story, Game Informer also did a piece on the story of Destiny 2 with an interview with Luke Smith. I'll leave a link to it in the description. I have to spend some more time deconstructing it for you, so you can expect a video on that very soon. Other than that, yeah, lots of excitement right now out of E3. Anthem looked amazing. I'm needless to say very intrigued at the prospect of another awesome looter shooter, as if I had time for another one in my life. But anyways, drop a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more Destiny content. And I will see you all next time. But another interesting detail is the color of the Titan's shotgun. It's clearly a new Monarchy shotgun, but the colors match his armor shader. We also see another example of this in the gameplay trailer where we see a dark green new Monarchy sniper rifle being wielded by a hunter with an obviously dark colored shader, although it's hard to tell whether or not it's matching the gun.